All right, so we're on Act 1, Scene 4, and this will be the scene where Romeo and his friends crash the Capulet party. So what we'll see is before the party, they're getting ready to go. Romeo asks, how are we going to get into this party? We weren't invited, and it is a mask, so they will be wearing masks so no one can recognize them. And we'll meet Romeo's strange friend Mercutio, who's very passionate for some reason. And my question to you is why? Why is he so passionate about love and actually quite angry, it seems, about love? And before they go into the party, Mercutio tells Romeo about a dream he had about this person named Queen Mab who delivers dreams from people's brains, and he gets really intense when talking about this dream that he had, and they have to kind of shut it down. And Romeo also says he had a dream, and this is a little foreshadowing. He talks about he has a bad feeling, which is correct, as we know what happens in the end. All right, so here we are. Romeo says, again, he's asking, how are we going to get into this party? What shall this speech be spoke for our excuse? Or shall we on without apology? And Benvolio replies, the date is out of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of lath, scaring the ladies like a crow-keeper, nor know without book prologue, faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance. But let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone. So he's saying, don't worry about it. We'll have a dance and then we'll head out. Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light. So Romeo says, well, I'm not going to have a good time anyway, so I'll just carry this torch and kind of sit in the corner and pout. Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance. Oh, not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move. Oh, you are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound. I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink, and to sink in it should you burthen love, too great oppression for a tender thing. Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn. Well, Mercutio has the answer for that. If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in, a visor for a visor. What care I what curious eye doth quote deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me. Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs. A torch for me. Let wantons of light of heart, tickle the senseless rushes with their heels, for I am proverbed with a grandsire phrase. I'll be a candle holder, and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, and I am done. Oh, tut, done's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire, or, save your reverence, love, wherein thou stickest up to the ears. Come, we burn daylight, ho! Nay, that's not so. I mean, sir, in delay we waste our lights in vain, like lights by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that ere once in our fine wits. And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go. Why, may one ask? I dreamt a dream tonight. And so did I. Well, what was yours? That dreamers often lie. There's a pun. Lie as in lie down, and then lie as in tell a lie. In bed asleep while they do dream things true. Oh, then, I see Queen Mab hath been with you. Queen Mab? What's she? She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomy over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes, made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider's web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner a small grey-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm, pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel or old grub. So that was a description of what Queen Mab looks like and her coach, which is her wagon and driver. And I often have students draw that. Time out of mind the fairies' coachmakers, and in this state she gallops, night by night, through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love, over courtiers' knees that dream on curtsies straight, over lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, over ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweet meats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops over a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometimes comes she with a tith-pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then he dreams of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth over a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breaches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frightened swears a prayer or two and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plaits the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elflocks in foul sluttish hairs, which, once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she. Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talkest of nothing. True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and, being angered, puffs away from thence, turning his face to the dew-dropping south. This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late. Now here's Romeo's omen. I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars, shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life, closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. Then he says, but he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail on, lusty gentlemen. Strike drum. So Romeo says, oh well, fate is fate. So clearly there's evidence there of the people of the time believing in fate, and you can't do much about fate. So that's my question to you. Is this all fate, that Romeo meets Juliet and ends up dying in the end?